Hello everybody and welcome to the European Session Brief. We're on Friday the 5th of May 2023. The European Central Bank's newfound status as the standard bearer of monetary tightening sets up President Christine Lagarde for a tussle with investors doubting how long the Eurozone can set its own course. Hours after the Fed's hint at a possible halt to interest rate hikes, Lagarde insisted the Frankfurt institution is in no mood to pause. A stance already being tested by traders, betting no one can sustainably defy gravitational pull of US policy, and past experiences suggest any divergence won't last. Pac West, First Horizon and Western Alliance led a renewed slide in the shares of US regional lenders, adding to concerns about a sector that's been rattled in recent months by a collapse of multiple firms. PacWest plunged 51% yesterday, the most on record, to its lowest close ever after saying it's in talks with potential investors and partners. Western Alliance tumbled 38%. It paired a drop of as much as 62% after saying in a report that it's exploring strategic options, including a potential sale, is categorically false. Apple earnings took centre stage after hours yesterday, so after the market closed, and sales of Apple's iPhone rebounded last quarter, helping the world's most valuable company top earnings estimate and weather an industry-wide downturn that has battered much of its product lineup. Overall revenue amounted to $94.8 billion in the fiscal second quarter, Apple said, exceeding the $92.6 billion analysts predicted. The results suggest that Apple is beginning to recover from a slump that's plagued both the computer and smartphone industries. It's a particular relief to investors after Qualcomm, a key supplier, raised fresh concerns about phone demand earlier in the week. European markets, DAX set to open slightly higher, as is the FTSE. It's not been a great week for the FTSE. Lower low after lower low basically on every single day now for the past 2 weeks of trading. So a downtrend if I've ever seen one. Same can't be said for the DAX over 2 weeks, but this week so far you've had 3 lower lows in a row now, but we are set to open above the previous daily close, so that looks pretty promising for a potential move back higher, and DAX continues to hold on to the 15735 level. If I just change this to a line chart, you can see we've not actually closed below that key support level. You can see that resistance, we've not actually closed below here. As soon as I change that back to a candlestick, you can see all the wicks, so there's plenty of support in here, guys. But if that level goes, then like I said, you could see a sharp move to the downside. Cable looking pretty strong this morning. We're set to open above the previous daily high and above the current weekly high, and in fact at new yearly highs. So it looks to be onwards and upwards for the pound as we move into 126.45 from here. Basically looking at that level, which is quite an important one from June of last year, June end of May, and we did see a turning point there off this particular level. So I'll be watching this one closely. It's not the only time we've seen a reversal. We can see here once, twice, and you can see other times we've had price interaction. This time for support here. You can see it's been quite an important level in recent years. So that 126.45 looks crucial to me overhead. The euro, despite a relatively hawkish message from the ECB yesterday, actually sold off and gave back some of the gains. So this market remains pretty choppy. It's quite uncertain. You can see we've had spikes higher, followed by moves lower. Not the best trading environment really for any type of momentum or breakouts kind of stuff. Anything that breaks just is getting reversed back lower. Good for reversal trading though, and you can see off all the highs here, it's been a pretty easy short around that 111 handle for the time being. What have we got ahead of us in the European session today? There's not much in the way of excitement as we anticipate the US payroll, so the NFPs. Lack of explicit forward guidance on the ECB's interest rate trajectory suggested from the ECB yesterday. Markets reacted relatively dovish, like just mentioned, the euro actually getting sold off. Christine Lagarde, like I mentioned, did keep a hawkish tone during the press conference, a fine balancing act to please both hawks and doves within the governing council. The euro then moving forward was still trading within this range, driven at the same time by broader dollar dynamics due to the release of stronger than expected US unit labour cost data. NFPs today as well, as we know. Money markets pricing out 14 basis points of tightening by September for the ECB. The added nearly 20 basis points of Fed easing by the year end. So as monetary policy divergence remains intact, it's now down to US data to determine whether this narrative becomes even a stronger catalyst for the euro-dollar pair. And we kick off with that data with the US NFPs and average hourly earnings today as well. The wage growth, probably the more important one that we watch of the two releases at this stage. Any signs of further heating and sticky inflation, etc. Hot report, hotter than expected average hourly earnings growth, and you'll see flow into the US dollar for sure. You'll see the euro probably moving down into the 1.094 handle, and you might see a bit more volatility in US equities. You might see some flow out of tech, but with Apple's earnings holding up yesterday, we were able to see the NASDAQ also close higher. So that's basically setting the scene for the session for today. If there's anything else that comes to mind, I'll post it inside the chat room. Thanks for listening, and all the best for your trading. Bye for now.